Then by 9 o'clock that night, you blew a .267. Mr. Allen. Court calls case people versus Anika Skibb.
Mr. Reiser, on behalf of the people.
However, on behalf of Ms. Skibb, who is approaching for him, Ms. Skibb, please introduce yourself to the court.
My name is Anika Skibb.
Yes, I mispronounce it every time.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, today's the date and time set for pretrial and violation of bond. As to the, would the court prefer to address the bond violation first?
Hold on a second. Got it. Okay, go ahead.
Would the court prefer to address the bond violation first or the pretrial?
Bond violation.
So, Your Honor, at this time, Ms. Skibb is not going to contest the violation. She is going to admit the violation for drinking and testing positive on the silver link.
And Skibb, why?
Your Honor, I'm very ashamed because this mistake was absolutely not indicative of the work I've been putting in the last few months, regularly attending meetings, and I'm very involved in the AA community in this area. I did an assessment by First Step Referral Services and was advised to complete inpatient treatment, and this is not at all acceptable, but the idea of having to be away from my son and the stress of this case on me, I allowed it to get to me, and when I messed up, I panicked, but I am currently at Dawn Farm.
Do I have the violation report?
And it is the 90-day program, correct? Yeah, so she's in the gold standard, the big one.
Well, I'm looking for my copy of the. How much were you drinking?
The day of the 20th, so the first day, I believe I had
The day of the 20th?
The day of the 20th is when I thought the report was sent from, Your Honor.
No, it's good. Have you seen the bond violation report?
I have not.
Have you had a chance to look at it? We discussed it, Judge, but we haven't.
Sorry, I was thinking about the 18th, Your Honor.
Yes,
On the 18th,
Yes.
you blew a .12.
I had 2 drinks. Was immediately after, I believe so. I had, I believe, 2 drinks, possibly 3. I don't remember exactly.
Then immediately after that, basically through that was at 10:33 when you blew those numbers. And then basically into the early morning of the 19th, you missed your testing.
Correct.
Are you indicating to me on the 18th, you had 2 drinks?
No, Your Honor, I'm saying I don't remember how many. I believe it was 2 right before breathalyzing. I believe it was.
And then how many did you have after that?
Again, I don't know. Was a few drinks the next day as well.
What?
It was at least a few drinks the next day as well. I don't remember exactly how many, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I didn't measure.
Because then at 1, well, basically 2 o'clock that next day, PM, you blow a .09.
Correct, Your Honor. Like I said, I panicked and I was drinking for the next day, so.
You kept not retesting as it's required. And then by 9 o'clock that night, you blew a .267. Mr. Allen. And you say now you're in treatment?
Yes, I'm currently at Dawn Farm and I was in jail for 6 days.
Anything else you want to say?
Your Honor, Ms. Skip has been very honest and open with me about this and about her problems with her drinking. She is at, like I said, she is at Dawn Farm. From my understanding, I believe it is going to be effective, and correct me if I'm wrong, eager to get back on track. She is deeply regretful and remorseful of her mistakes. She's been honest with me the whole time, and I don't believe she's tried to hide this at any point. But we are asking that, Your Honor, that she be allowed to return to Dawn Farm rather than the custody of the county today.
And then what will I do with her?
Yeah, I suppose let's see what happens at Dawn Farm after 90 days. She is inpatient. It is inpatient, Judge, if that makes sense.
Do I have it?
I'm sorry.
Do you have proof of that?
We don't have any. Do you have written documentation here right now?
I have documentation from the farm with me. I also signed a legal release of information to Mr. Bradal on Monday when I was admitted. I also
right now I don't have anything.
I have a peer with me that's from the farm that is also with me. If possible, we can call the farm. Whatever proof is needed, I will be able to get to you today. I didn't realize that I needed more than the legal release of information.
Well, somehow or another, that information has got to get to me, but this, based upon the violation that I see, defendant's bond is revoked. I'm going to remand her to the Washington County Jail. I'll set it out 1 week during the sentencing and review that, but right now it's revoked. Defendant's remanded.
Understand.
This courtroom moment delivers a sharp reminder of how seriously the justice system views bond violations, especially when alcohol is involved. Miss SK stood before the judge and openly admitted what happened, acknowledging she tested positive for alcohol despite her strict no-drinking conditions. What stands out isn't just the violation itself, but the pattern revealed in the results. A 0.12 reading, followed by missed testing, then a 0.09, and later that night a staggering 0.267. These aren't minor slips. These numbers reveal a rise in panic, loss of control, and escalating behavior. Legally, the situation is direct and uncompromising. Bond isn't a suggestion, it's an agreement. The court grants temporary freedom with firm conditions, and complete compliance is expected in return. Once those terms are broken, especially repeatedly and with missed tests added in, the judge has very little room to be flexible. Whether the violation came from stress, pressure, or emotional struggle doesn't change the legal bottom line. A violation is still a violation. Miss SK's statement in court was emotional and undeniably human. She spoke about her work in recovery, her involvement in AA, and her fear of being separated from her child. She admitted she spiraled. She admitted she panicked, and she didn't try to hide any of it. That level of honesty matters morally, but legally, honesty alone doesn't erase consequences. The court must balance compassion with public safety and accountability. And here, the judge made it clear that the repeated drinking, missed testing, and lack of timely documentation from the treatment facility left no choice but to revoke bond. One of the key turning points was the issue of proof. The defense asked the judge to allow the defendant to return to Dawn Farm directly, rather than go into county custody. But without official paperwork at that moment, the judge could not legally confirm her inpatient status. In a courtroom, verbal assurances aren't enough. Documents matter. Timing matters. And when violations pile up before proof arrives, the court's options become extremely limited. And let's be clear, the judge did not punish Miss SK for seeking treatment. The remand happened because the violations were already documented and confirmed. The judge even scheduled a review for the following week, showing that the situation is still being evaluated. But for now, custody was unavoidable. This case raises tough but necessary questions for everyone watching. When someone is genuinely trying to get help, how much room does the justice system allow before accountability and safety take priority? Should emotional stress ever outweigh strict bond conditions? Or does allowing multiple violations undermine the entire purpose of court supervision? The reality is harsh but essential. The court's responsibility isn't just rehabilitation, it's enforcement. Without enforcement, bond conditions lose meaning. And if they lose meaning, the entire pretrial structure becomes unstable. At the core of this situation is addiction, accountability, fear, and consequences colliding all at once. Miss S.K. didn't stand before the judge as a stereotype. She stood as a struggling individual under tremendous pressure. But a courtroom is not a counseling space. It is a place governed by law. And here, the law spoke clearly. Now it's your turn. Did the judge make the right decision by revoking bond immediately? Or should she have been allowed to continue treatment without jail time? Where should the line be drawn between support and strict enforcement? Share your thoughts in the comments, because cases like this reveal just how complex justice becomes when real human struggle steps into the courtroom. If you want to see more real courtroom moments that expose reality, push emotions to the edge, and show how a single ruling can reshape an entire life, then subscribe, press the bell icon, and stay connected. The next case might hit even harder, and you won't want to miss what happens next.